Test, 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 test. Hello, everybody. Welcome into the WillCo Sports Power Hour. My name's Charles Pulliam with the Williamson Herald. Happy to have you all lined up here tonight. Want to mention, of course, too, that we do have a live stream out there on the Williamson Herald Facebook page, along with Gateway Tire Facebook page as well. This is coming to you live from Tony's Eat and Drink, of course. Our great sponsors out there, Tim Thompson, Premier Realtors, Gateway Tire and Service, Toyota of Cool Springs, Stonegate Homes, Matthews Team Sports, Trucking Fork here, Tennessee, Southern Trophy, and John Mayer Builders. We got some great athletes, coaches in the house tonight. We're going to talk a little high school wrestling, talk a little high school basketball. And, folks, it'll be a fun time over the next 45 minutes to an hour or so. And right now with us, we got one of the hottest teams in District 10 4A. We're going to dive right in here. Coach Bre Jackson of Independence. Happy to have you on board, Coach.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Welcome. You know, I'm kind of dating myself, but I remember your playing days a little more here, too. And to have you back on the coaching side, first-year head coach here at Independence, and the girls are finding a bit of a groove. Tell us a little bit about these last few wins, Coach.
Well, honestly, I think the biggest groove there's been is the confidence groove. The girls are starting to gel with each other. They work extremely hard day in and day out with practice, with workouts. We're in the weight room. Then just starting to buy into the little detail stuff that we've been focusing on like the fundamentals, our rebound and our defense, all of those intensity things. And I think the girls are doing a really good job of working hard and buying in.
In doing that, I mean, you know, you think about how tough this district is here. I go back to last week, actually, a big win at Franklin, able to kind of break that tie for fourth here because we're pretty loaded at the top, pretty top-heavy. Page, Brentwood, and Nolensville right there. And, of course, hey, you guys got a big game tomorrow, too. But thinking of breaking through, finding some wins, you win a big rivalry matchup, of course, on Friday, too, against Summit. What's kind of happened over these last couple weeks, especially in district play where, you know, the girls are just, they're playing well. Everybody's stepped up, and there's a really good camaraderie on this team, it seems like.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said in the previous statement, I just really think the girls are gelling together confidence-wise, and it's showing. It's not more of just our X's and O's. It's about the chemistry and the camaraderie of, okay, I trust you to do this, or I know she's going to do this. And we always focus on taking each game by game. And especially towards the end of the season, you know, you don't want to peak too early. And I think when it comes to our girls, they're starting to gel at just the right time. They're just buying into our defensive aspect, and that's what we focus on each and every day.
Well, you kind of talked a little bit about it there, but thinking about, we got some time here, and to go back in, getting, you know, taking over this program, having this head coaching job here. Tell us a little bit about just that approach and what you were trying to establish right from the start and how these girls have really taken on that approach for you.
That's a good question. I knew coming in that it was going to be a challenge of getting the girls to understand what it means to win, not just on the court, but off the court, but just a mentality of winning. You have to win in the small little detail things for the outcome to be what you want. You kind of have to put yourself in a position. So we focus on each and every day winning in the details. So that was my goal coming in, of just start from scratch. Where's our foundation? And we're going to start with detailed foundation.
All those little things that definitely stack up, and
Absolutely.
It's some big wins here. So if I'm not mistaken, 4 straight wins here in district play as well, right? I think 4 wins in a row for district.
4 wins, 4 wins, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Climbing into 4th place and kind of holding on there. 7-5 now. We got a big game tomorrow. You guys are going to challenge one of those leaders in Brentwood. Tell us a little bit about that matchup and what kind of excites you to have these girls playing well and now having to get challenged against one of the best.
I think what excites us is we like to compete. And we know going into this week is going to be a good battle between 2 tough teams, top of the district. But one of our goals is to survive and advance. So we're not really focusing on who we have. We're focusing on, are we growing at the things that we're getting better at. So that's kind of our mentality going into this next week.
When you think about where we are, I mean, time flies so quickly here. We're the postseason right around the corner here. How fast has this year kind of gone for you, and just what's it been like?
I have so many emotions when it comes to the first year, because last year was my first year with middle school girls. This is my first year with the high school girls. And I've been fortunate to have a really good group of girls. They don't complain. They work hard. They want to grow. They're very coachable. And I think I've gotten the joy to just see them blossom and to see that confidence actually come out with not just on the court stuff, but off the court. We're really big on mentality. And basketball is the thing that you're in for the moment, but life is everlasting. So our goal is to build that culture of good character, but we also compete. So that's been a joy to watch throughout the season. But it has gone fast.
Again, this is the WillCo Sports Power Hour. We're live here at Tony's Eat and Drink. We're here every Monday. Another, some of our great sponsors out there, John Mayer Builders, Tim Thompson, Premier Realtors. This is a fun combo we get to have with Coach Bre Jackson of Independence. Coach, when you think about your connection to this county a little bit, let's go back just a few years, really, to take over a program here after being around it for so long and growing into this a little bit. What's that journey kind of been like for you?
The journey has been very up and down for me. A lot of people think that, I've been blessed to be a part of a great organizations that we've won, but a lot of people don't know about the struggle and the adversity that you have to go through with what it takes to win. And it's kind of nostalgia. Every time that I go to school, every time that I'm just in this area, because I'm from this area, I'm around this area, I play basketball all throughout this area. And I just think it's really a blessing, to be honest. Like, that's really it.
This team, let's chat a little bit about these girls here from Independence. Again, we're going to have to get to chat with one of your juniors here and one of our most recent Gateway Tire Athletes of the Week. But at the same time, tell us a little bit about these girls here and just what it's been like seeing them come together and some of the leaders out there for you.
I think the leadership is starting to show more and more and more, which we always collectively, coaches knew that it was there. But like I say, I think it's really big when it comes to sports. It's just confidence. You know you can do it. You've shot the ball before. You've rebounded the ball before. You've turned the ball over before. It's that, okay, how do I adjust from that and how do I continue to grow from that? And I think that's been the beauty, to just watch those girls blossom and grow within their adversities. That's just been my biggest goal with them, is to, more than what you think you know. Go out there and relax. Play. Just play basketball. So just seeing that confidence grow within each and every player has just been a joy to watch.
Thinking of the girls here, so we're going to chat with Riley here in a moment too, but when you think about the makeup of this team here, we have some size, we got a nice leadership on the guard side, you got a great shooter and someone like an MJ. I mean, break down this team and some of the strengths and some of those players that really kind of have helped you get into this fourth place here in districts.
Yeah, I think gelling towards the end, I think the girls are starting to realize that it's very much our team is an inside-out game, and when we have our strong post play like Riley Brooks inside there and just attracting all that attention, rightfully so, because she's showing that, okay, I belong. And I think when it's inside out, now it opens up our guard play with our shooters ready, lock and loaded. We get downhill with some of our older guards, and I just think we're just an inside out team. It really gels. It comes from the inside out with our post play.
I like it. Hey, I think this is an opportunity where you should stay up here too, Coach, because we could both pester our recent Gateway Tire Athlete of the Week. But let's bring up Independence junior Riley Brooks. If you're in the house, come on up. Riley is, again, our most recent Gateway Tire Female Athlete of the Week. She's coming off a career high in points over Ravenwood, helped this team, of course, win their last 4 games. Riley, here's a mic for you. Super happy to have you on board. Riley, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Happy to have you here. Again, I know we got some friends, some fam, some teammates here. Who's all in support for you here tonight?
Aaliyah Fleming, Maddie Zeitz, Kinley Clarkson, and Emma Donahue, and then Micah and Tay.
Okay. Coach, when you have a player like this, just give us a little breakdown of Riley a little bit and just kind of what kind of player she is and what kind of character she has.
Character is out of the roof, okay? You can't ask for a better character person than Riley. She's very compassionate, very loving, and that leadership role is growing. It's a pleasure for me to watch her just grow and just using her voice a little bit more. I think that's been effective for our team just overall, but I think that's pulling her out of comfort zone in different ways has really helped show off the court and on the court with her.
Riley, at the same time, when you have Coach talking to you about that a little bit, and one of the things we're going to talk about is just this run here over these last couple weeks. But tell us a little bit about what you try to bring to this team and what it's been like so far this season.
Yeah, I definitely know that my role is to I have an inside role, and I feed off my teammates. My teammates know to get me the ball inside, and yeah, I know that my role is to be inside. So
Well, Coach kind of said it. The strength of this team is inside out, and having another post player like a Maddie out there too. The two of you seem to play off one another really well. When you think about this team and that inside out challenge, just describe that strength and how you guys have really grown and found a groove here over the last couple weeks.
yeah, so I think our like ball movement has been a lot better lately, and I think that me and Maddie feed off of each other really well, and we can get each other going. Like we just get our high lows going, and like once Maddie gets going, like no one can guard her. So I think, yeah.
Coach, you got two Rileys, two Maddies in a way here. They both are very similar, and having that presence, especially in the post in this league. Tell us how big that is for this team, and then just what fun that is too.
It's very important when it's a makeup of a team. You got to have point guard, and you got to have strong inside presence because who you gonna guard? If everybody's gonna, go into the inside and guard that inside, okay, we have a threat outside. And I think pushing Riley specifically and my post players to put the ball on the floor and shoot the ball has opened up the versatility. So that's kind of been that challenge, and that to see them blossom within that has been just a beauty to see. And they're starting to play off of each other more and more and more. A lot of it's just read and play. A lot of basketball played.
Riley, this team and just establishing some of the play that Coach has kind of been pushing right from the start here. Tell us about the transition of this year and having her come in, and just what it's kind of been like finding that identity for Indy basketball here.
Yeah, I definitely think that we're getting a push a lot harder, which is what we need, and it's a lot of encouragement and criticism, which is good. Like we need that, and I think that this year, like Coach Bre said, like definitely expanded our game, and now I feel like more comfortable with what I'm doing and like pushing the ball up the floor, and I feel like I'm open to doing more. So.
Well, even though we got Coach here, I know this is fine here, but tell us what kind of coach is Coach Bre like? I mean, give us a little insight here. And hey, Coach, you can't do any punishments or anything here, nothing like that. But Riley, what's it been like having Coach Bre, and how would you describe her, I guess, demeanor out there as well?
Yeah, she's a great coach, and I think like she's very like encouraging, and she's like hard on us too, which is exactly like what we need. And I always like she knows what she's talking about, and I always feel like I know like whenever she tells me to do something, like I know that that's like I gotta trust her, and I definitely think that it's like I'm happy that she's our coach. So.
That was pretty good, huh? I mean, yeah.
I'm gonna take that.
Okay, I'll take that. All right. Riley, these last few games here, you guys are finding some. I guess before we do anything, let's go back to this Ravenwood game here, because we're missing a player or two. I think Aaliyah couldn't play that game. You come out, and it's a career night offensively here a little bit. You scored 27 points. Tell us about that game and just what was going right for you and how things kind of happened. It just seemed like you got into a flow.
Yeah, I think that I knew like I had to step up since Aaliyah was out, and I think towards like the second half I just started finding my rhythm, and my teammates knew, and they were getting me the ball, and I think that I was like taking my open shots and just like drop step score. Like I knew I had to do that. So.
Coach, what'd you see from Riley in that performance? Because again, it seemed like you need somebody to step up. You need a lot of people to step up. Again, we're playing on the road. It's a district matchup, always tough in this league. And sure enough, your junior center comes through in a big way.
It's always tough when you have players that are down, injured, especially. But it's always an opportunity we talk about to the girls for somebody to step up. And I'm always challenging them. I give them the Batman and Spider-Man type of analogy. Are you Peter Parker on the floor? Or are you Spider-Man? Are you Batman? Or are you Bruce Wayne? So it's literally in that what is it called? Like that pregame, I was asking, like, who am I going to get on the floor today? Am I going to see Riley or am I going to see somebody else? And I think she did an exceptional job of stepping up to that challenge.
So, Riley, was it more the Spider-Man or Batman, or what would we see out of that?
I don't know. Maybe both.
Maybe a little bit both.
A combination. Hey, we'll take a combination, yes. Right? Yeah. Well, Riley, I want to know a little bit about taking some of this momentum and confidence we've built over these last couple weeks into tomorrow, what are we going to see from you and your team, and how excited are you for that big challenge?
I'm really excited. We definitely have a challenge this week. We have Brentwood and Page, and so we really need to just lock in and focus on like not turning the ball over and kind of relaxing, like not getting too, antsy with the ball and just focusing. Like we got Brentwood tomorrow, and then we have Page on Friday, so we need to just take it one game at a time. So.
I don't know who put that schedule together, go back to back. I know you weren't a part of that here, but to go against the league leaders like that, I know we got to focus on Tuesday, but come Friday, there's another big challenge there in a Page team. Coach, thinking of that Brentwood matchups, tell us a little bit about some of the things that have to happen for Indy to find some success.
Well, Brentwood and especially Page, I've had relationships with a lot of those girls, whether that's training, whether that's just AAU travel ball. I know those girls really well, half of them, majority of them. So it's kind of like a fair trade. It's funny, but I always start with the defensive aspect. Like I say, when you're not making shots not falling, or it's not going our way on one end, we have to really gel into that secondary, which it should always be your defense. I feel like defense is a foundation that you lay from the start. And that's where we're going to go from, just defense, taking that defensive mentality, because our defense will lead to our offense.
Now, Riley, when you take on a big team like this, I mean, you think of an Ella Ryan, you think of some of those shooters out there. This is a tough team to guard, loaded with shooters out there. How is Independence going to slow the Brentwood girls down a little?
I think we have to really focus on guarding Ella Ryan, and I think Maddie does a really good job on her, and I think we're just focusing on not letting her like do what she usually does. Like she usually pops threes, and so we just we're focusing on her, and also like they have a lot of shooters, so that is hard when all their whole team is shooters. But yeah, we definitely have to focus on that.
Let's learn a little bit more about this team. You mentioned defense obviously is a big thing for this squad here. Coach Jackson bringing that to the table for sure. Riley, who's the toughest player on the Indy team to guard?
All of them are really tough to guard. I don't know. I think they're all pretty tough to guard.
Okay, I think she's coming across like she doesn't want to burn any bridges here a little bit.
Very modest.
Okay,
very
okay,
modest.
right.
Very modest.
Okay.
Yes.
Coach, when you think of this group here a little bit, and where Riley fits in the leadership role and just what she's bringing to it, that you mentioned character a little bit, and I just seem like we getting a lot of it, even just a little taste here. How would you describe her leadership for this team?
Sky's the limit for Riley, and I tried my best, and I hope she understands that I trust her wholeheartedly with leading and using her voice. One of my goals from when I got the job is I wanted everybody to understand that I'm teaching athletes and student athletes, young girls, to advocate for themselves. And I think it's very big, especially in the day and age we live in, everything's social media and technology. But I think one of Riley's biggest attributes about her is that she's so lovable. I could be on her about something, and it's hard to be, because she brings you that energy, and she's going to try her best to do what you ask her to do, and she's going to try her best to bring those players along with her. I think being a junior is very tough, trying to find your voice at times, especially when you have a new system, you have new coaches, you have new foundations. But I think the biggest blessing that I have with Riley is we have a really good relationship, and that's been one of my goals from the jump, is building a relationship, and then the trust comes from there.
Riley, when you hear Coach talk a little bit about that, and how's that make you feel?
Good. It makes me feel good. I'm glad that she can trust me.
Coach, what's I guess if we were going down and we wanted just that little glimpse of Riley on the court, what kind of player she is, what's a moment or a play or something in the huddle, something like that just comes to mind that you think just describes her down so well, or what's a memorable something from this season? There's got to be something that jumps out a little bit, and I'm trying to give you a little bit of time to think about it, but I want to hear what we might see from talking about Riley. What's a memorable play?
One of my memorable plays with Riley is when we played against Stewart's Creek. And in practice, I was just telling her, she's like, can I shoot? Can I shoot? I'm like, yeah, shoot the ball. and she sprayed a three at the top of the key. And I just remember, like, I'm turning around to the coaches like, ooh, that's what we've been, that's what we've been seeing, and, just wanted to come out there. So that's one of my memorable moments when she's shooting the ball, when she's putting the ball on the floor. She has so many, but when she's stepping out of her comfort zone on the floor, that's a beauty to watch.
Riley, the coach mentioned it. The junior year is kind of one of those, you've played a while here, you're used to that game a little bit. When you think about shooting the ball maybe or something like that, what was something that you were really focused on individually coming into this year that you wanted to expand your game a little bit? Because it feels like shooting might be one of those things, and finding more comfort, looking for your shot, for example, too.
Yeah, I think definitely one thing I was trying to work on this year was also shooting, like, outside, but also, like, ball handling, I think, because this year I'm able to, like, push the ball up the floor, and I think that that's one thing that I have really been working on. So.
All right. Well, I know we got Brentwood. I know we got Paige. This season's gone by so fast. That's the thing, really thinking about it. Riley, I want to give you the opportunity to have one of those memorable moments, favorite thoughts, or something like that. What's besides that great Ravenwood game here, obviously, tell us something that really stands out to you from the Lady Eagles this season that, that makes you smile thinking back on.
I think probably last week our game against Franklin, like, I feel like Franklin is more of a rival game for us. I know we have Summit as, like, our big rival, but I definitely think that Franklin is also a big rival, and for us to come out and win that, I think that was, like, probably a highlight, because we jumped out quick, and then they closed the gap a little bit, but we didn't let them take over the game, and I was, like, really proud of us for that, and so that's one of the highlights.
Really quick, Coach, let's mention that game here, because, again, I think it was 17-4, just like that. So many great things going your way. And then fast forward to, I think, that third quarter, it got down to maybe a bucket. But these girls bent, but they didn't break a little bit here. What'd you see from that team?
It's funny that you said that, because I use that analogy all the time. You might fall a little bit, you might bend, you might get bumped around, but you don't break, you don't give up. And I told them, like, basketball is a game of runs. You can't get surprised when they go on their run. We went on our run. Okay, it's going to be a response either the opposite way or the way it's supposed to be. And I just think that the girls did a really good job of just staying level-headed. I always talk to them about not getting too high and getting too low. And I think that game was a really big step that we took, and just them recognizing us not having to say it. They're just like, you see them, calm down, girls, we're good. So I think that's the chemistry part and that bonding part that comes down, especially down the wire like that.
Ladies, super happy to have you join us here on the WillCo Sports Power Hour. Riley, I'm going to give you the opportunity for that last word. Thinking of this big week upon us here, Brentwood Tuesday, Paige Friday. I mean, I know it's a tall task here, but what are we going to see from this Independence girls team?
I definitely think that tomorrow we have the size advantage, and I think we're going to do, like what Coach Bre said, like our inside-out game, like get the ball inside, and same thing on Friday as well, because we still have the size advantage. So I think that's our game plan.
We'll take it. Riley, I got a plaque here for you.
Thank
Our
you.
latest Gateway Tire Female Athlete of the Week. Congratulations. Everybody, Riley Jordan, Coach Bre Jackson of Independence, thank you guys so much for joining us here.
Thank you for having me.
Best of luck this week. We'll see you out on the court, all right?
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Again, Independence basketball in the house. Happy to have Bre Jackson and Riley Jordan here. This is the WillCo Sports Power Hour live here at Tony's Eat and Drink. This show brought to you by Tim Thompson, Premier Realtors, Gateway Tire and Service, Toyota, Cool Springs, Stonegate Homes, Matthews Team Sports, among our many sponsors here. Again, every Monday night we're here. Happy to have Independence in the house. We're going to kind of shift from basketball to wrestling now, but pretty excited here. We do have the Summit wrestling team in the house here as well. So if I could get Coach Pete Miller to come on up and join me. We're just wrapping up the region individual tournament here, and I know we go right into sectional. State individual traditional play coming up here as well too. But Coach Pete Miller, a veteran of the show, coming back to hang out for a little while. Coach, how you doing, man?
Hey, I always love talking wrestling. Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
That's the thing. First off, we got to talk about hey, we get to see your lovely wife. We get to see our newest young Spartan wrestler in the house here, too. I know there's been a lot of things hovering there for a long time, but it's nice to see the whole family out.
Yeah, glad to be back. That's what we needed. Perfect timing, just in time for the postseason. What better time than now? So.
You're actually getting a little more rest now, maybe, huh?
Yeah, I'm very
at
thankful
home
for my
anyway.
bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never realize how much you miss your bed and your shower until you don't have it for 20-plus days.
Yeah, about that. Hey, Coach, Saturday ended up being a pretty darn good day for the Spartans here. Region 6 AA champs. You guys are coming off a fantastic showing at the state duels. How do we sum up these couple weeks here, because it's been busy and the guys have been coming through?
You're exactly right. These guys have bought into the preparations. Tough practice, tough competition. Like we always say, consistency's key. And that's exactly what these guys have done. Rolled right in from state duels. We're a little banged up, but they recovered. They had a solid day on Saturday, qualifying 11 of 14 weight classes. So the expectation was met there, and now we got to do our job for the sectional tournament next weekend to get these guys tickets punched to the state tournament.
Going back, so sectionals, I think we have 11 or 12 guys going through for this then?
11.
11 guys through. Couple region champs. We got a 4-time region champ in the house here representing too. I mean, this Saturday, having guys in the finals like that, how do you describe Saturday?
Again, it was fantastic as we continue to see these guys get themselves into the finals. That's the big points round for the team. For these guys to be able to put 11 into the semifinals, put 6 into the finals, that's what we needed. So that was guaranteed points and guaranteed positions to be able to send these guys to the sectional tournament to qualify for state.
So last week we had Coach Peck and the Ravenwood wrestling team represented here on the Power Hour. Coming off the duals side there, they take third. Williamson County obviously represented very well. We got to go back and talk state duals since we got you here, Coach. First team in large schools for WillCo to break through since Franklin won the state title, I think in 2004 or 5. You guys wrestled Cleveland for a state championship in the state duals. How big of a moment was that for this program and for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's an extra chip on my shoulder to be able to go against my former team. But, I'm blessed where I came from. I'm very thankful from where we came from. But that's the program that we shoot to be like. That was the goal. And, we got a piece of Cleveland, and they showed us what the expectation and the standard is to be, ranked top 20 in the country and be returning, 7-8 time state champions. So we were glad to be in the state finals, but our expectation is always to win it.
It's a lot of fun to actually face them on the big stage instead of in that first round or second round, the way we always get paired up prior, right?
We finally got to see what happens when we get lined up opposite sides. So
yes.
I think that was a big statement for our program that's what can happen when you put us on the other side of Cleveland.
How would you kind of describe that shift from that dual side of wrestling now to the traditional tournament setup here? These couple weeks is always kind of unique here, but the guys are going out and competing, and now it's a little more, hey, we're still the team side, but just really, how do you describe that for our watchers and listeners out there? Because this is a unique time here.
Oh, yeah, it's still consistency, though. Our regular Monday practice is our Monday practice. So what we had was a lot of adjustments to technique, finding those techniques. Over the next couple days, we'll go through those scenarios, do some live scenarios, some trained position, control positions to be able to get better. Because, again, these guys still got to make weights. They need tough workouts, but we're not looking to kill them or anything. So this is the fun time. Because you can tell right now these guys are obviously chowing down the one-time weigh-in this week. They're excited for. So we don't want to know how much Brayden Leach is overweight right now, but he's smiling pretty good right now. But, yeah, they know we got tough practice the rest of the week. They know they're going to be able to get the weight off. Hayes in the barn at this point.
You never know. Maybe he wants to take David's spot or something like that, right?
I guarantee it. Got him for Peter.
Peter's always the one that gets he's your most welcome guest here hanging out at Tony's, right?
Absolutely, yes.
I go back, Cooper, Ryan, all those guys, like, hey, heavyweight's always my hangout buddy at Tony's, right?
Absolutely, yeah. That's what you can count
on. Coach, this Saturday, the region tournament, you guys rack up, I think, 236 points. The county as a whole, I know we got Columbia Central, Spring Hills right there, Hillsboro, Overton, part of that group too, but Williamson County sent in 49 of the 56 to the Section 3 tournament coming up on Saturday. What's that kind of say about this county? We talk about it all the time, but WillCo wrestlers are tough to beat.
You're seeing it. That's exactly what we've been talking about. We've called it. It was so much fun Friday night, talking with Benji from Page and Kathy from Franklin. I'm like, look, you guys are shooting 2, 3, 4. Ravenwood's there in the mix. Brentwood's there, and Nolensville wasn't in the top 5. But then the excitement about wrestling, Nolensville fires back through, just overtakes Ravenwood to finish second in the region. That's what's so much fun about a region tournament is that anything can happen. I think there were more upsets this year than I've ever seen before, and that's why we need to have the individual tournaments as well, because there's the excitement factor and there's the upsets. And what we did this weekend, we're about to do it all over again this Saturday in our sectional tournament.
Now, sectionals at Green Hill, right?
Correct.
Okay. Before we talk that, the girls' side are getting on there. So the state qualifier, is it Friday?
Yes, Friday will be the girls' tournament, so they can have the same pretty good officials to be able to have that. That'll be at Mount Juliet High School. Top 4 from their weight classes will qualify for the state tournament. So we have 4 girls competing. Sydney Helveston, new girl. Olivia Johnson, undefeated returning region champ. She had to take last year off, but she's back. Samantha O'Leary, returning state medalist, and also senior Finley Craig are looking to all punch their ticket to the state tournament on Friday.
Always a busy thing. Will we see you Friday, too, then, at Mount Juliet? And then, okay.
Absolutely. Got to show them love, too.
Hey,
so.
You know where I'm going to be. I got my, I think I just need to get a hotel room in the Mount Juliet area.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Recap really quick our finalists from the region side here on Saturday on the boys' side, because, we're going to chat with one of your region champ. Well, we should be able to chat with both your region champs, to be honest here.
Correct.
But tell us who made it into the finals, and who was some of the surprises maybe that for this Summit Spartan team.
Right. Well, I think right off the bat at 106 pounds, Jin Saito, going from 11-22 last year to a region finalist. The kid's figured it out. He's bought in. He loves being around these guys. They took him under his wing. He had a fantastic tournament, wrestling Peck again for I think the 4th or 5th time this year. So I hope they get to see each other again in the finals this weekend. But Blaze Massey had a great tournament again, making the finals again. So he's punched his ticket, 2-time state medalist. At 120, we got a little freshman, Mark Taddeo. He's not so little anymore. He wrestled a fantastic tournament. He punched his ticket, taking 3rd. Noah Hayek, who probably had one of the best showings of the entire day, taking out returning state medalists, defeating guys that he hadn't beaten this year, but that's who Noah Hayek is. That's why we continue to say he's our guy. So making his statement, punching his ticket to the sectional tournament. Mikey Posey doing his thing as always, making the finals of the region at 132. We had Keaton Leach at 138. He got a little banged up, but he got a taste of the region tournament, had a win for that. Jade McKinney, as usual, doing his thing, finishing top 3. And then Zachery and Brayden back-to-back region champions was great. But Braylon Pelkey again, stepping up and having a great tournament, finishing 3rd in the region was big time. David Demarest, who's kind of banged up, made the finals, wrestled really, really solid. And as usual, Peter Savarino stepping up, wrestling big things. So we did lose some matchups that we didn't necessarily want to lose, but we won some too. But the matter of the fact is we got our ticket punched this weekend, and the sectional tournament's what it's all about. So everybody 0-0, right back to the drawing board, getting ready for this weekend.
Well stated, because, section stuff. And, again, top 4 advance to the state tournament February 21st and 22nd out of this Saturday matchup. Coach, I think this is an opportunity where, we got some time here. I think we should chat with one of your seniors here in the house,
Absolutely.
too. I think let's bring up that young man there. Mr. Leach, if you don't mind, come on up and chat, our 4-time region champion. You can go ahead and stay up here too, Coach. We'll bring him up and we'll pester him together. How's that sound?
Absolutely.
So before we talk to our most recent Gateway Tire male athlete of the week, we could talk with our 4-time region champ, defending state champion, and I think the Region 6A, AA Wrestler of the Year, correct?
Absolutely.
Man, that's a lot. I just got the full list here. Plus, he's repping where we get to watch him next year as well, too.
He stole this from me, by the way. Just letting you know. He stole it from me.
Mr. Leach, thank you so much for coming on, man. As one of the seniors, I want a little insight on this team and this performance from the regionals. What'd you see from the boys?
I saw a lot of hard work pay off this weekend. I'm really happy with the guys and how they wrestled. I know we still got 2 more weeks, but there's still things we can fix and focus on in practice, so I think we're going to be ready for the state tournament.
Coach, this is one of the guys that, you mentioned like a Mikey Posey, you mentioned, so many, Savarino, for instance, too, but we've seen these guys forever now. I mean, this guy, a senior year coming in here as a defending state champion. Tell us a little bit about what it's been like having him in the room this other year here.
Oh, it's been picture perfect. And not only that, his younger brother to be a freshman this year, Keaton, I think that was super special. And as we're going to be able to talk about with Zachery, too, having his little brother Noah as a freshman, it's a family thing amongst Summit Wrestling. So having both he and his brother in the room has been fantastic. But the leadership he brings on and off the mat is second to none. I need 100 more like him, and we'd be all right. But it's his work ethic. It's everything he does on and off the mat. I'm really going to take in these next 2 weeks and be able to make sure that I cherish it to the very end. So it's definitely been a blessing to have in our program.
Brayden, I know that we get the opportunity to keep wrestling for a long time here too, but Coach mentioned it. We got a pretty important couple weeks here. Obviously, we're coming off a great performance in the dual side here for everybody. But what are you kind of most focused in on, and what's this next couple weeks going to be like for you?
I'm just focusing on enjoying it, really. I'm trying to enjoy it while it lasts. It's only 2 more weeks of high school, so of course I want to win, but I want to enjoy my time with my boys and the team and Coach Miller. So, yeah, I'm really excited for it.
What's it been like having little brother in the mat room with you this year?
It's cool. It's really cool. I get to beat up on him a little bit. But, yeah, it's fun. It's fun helping him out. He's developing, so, I mean, it's going to be cool to see what he can do in the next few years as well.
I think he gets more nervous for Keaton before matches than Keaton does. It's super cool. He ends up he's about 6 feet away from the mat, and then he's like right on top of the mat. And the next thing I know, he's right here in the chair next to me. So he loves it, and that's fantastic. I love every bit of it.
When you're helping out a little bit like that, obviously you've gone through the gauntlet before. You've done so many things and found so much success. What are you trying to teach him and those younger wrestlers?
Just trying to teach him to be confident. A lot of freshmen lack confidence. A lot of our guys, I feel like, have it down, but they definitely can use more confidence. They just need to dial in and like enjoy the process is what I'm getting at.
Being that guy people want to wrestle, people are targeting you, and just kind of having that target on your back. What's this season kind of been like for you, and how have you kind of overcome some of that constant pressure?
I haven't really felt much pressure. I believe in my training, my hard work. If I wrestle the way I normally wrestle, I feel like no one can beat me. So I'm just focused on my training more than anything.
Coach, I knew as soon as I was approaching that comment, and I knew he was going to respond like that, because he doesn't have any pressure. He doesn't show that at all, except for when Keaton's wrestling, I guess.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Or when I let Keaton on top, and then he gets in trouble a little bit. I don't know.
How would you describe this young man to your right here, and just what he's brought to this program and that legacy he can leave here for Summit?
Oh, you're exactly right. I mean, he leads by example. He does everything the right way on and off the mat. I was fortunate enough to have him in one of my honors classes last year, so I saw what he could do in the classroom. I've seen what he's doing on the wrestling mat, and he's one that we're going to talk about for years and years, and I'm glad he's staying local, wrestling at Chattanooga. Go Mox. So
Yes, sir.
definitely glad to have him around. We can keep an eye on him there, too. So I let Coach Rochelle know every time, hey, man, you're getting a good one, and he just he agrees every time. So definitely getting a special one out of UTC.
Brayden, tell us a little bit about that decision and joining UTC and staying in state here and joining some local guys there too that we've known over the last couple of years.
Yes, sir. I'm super excited for it. I know it's the place I need to be to develop and get me where I want to be. And Coach Miller helped me out a lot with it. It's close. It's not too far away from home, and I really like the coaches. They're getting a new room, so that'll be awesome. And then I just really like everyone on the team. All the guys were cool with me when I went down for my visits and stuff, so I'm really excited for it.
Well, thinking off the top of my head, Ken Curtis, Mr. Gibbs. I mean, we've seen a lot of these guys locally for a long time. Having a connection there from your high school time, what's that kind of like? How beneficial is that for you?
It's cool. Definitely knowing people there is going to help. Those are my boys. I've known them for a long time. We train a lot together in the summers, especially freestyle Greco. But it's cool meeting new people, too. So that's what I'm most excited for.
Coach, having some of those guys, guys just from Summit here in these last few years, wrestling at that next level. Talk about that foundation for this program to be able to look ahead and have some of these young wrestlers be like, hey, you could be like that. You could be like that. You could find success and be wrestling in college.
You're exactly right. If you put the work in, anything can happen. You know, Jarvis Little didn't start wrestling until the 6th grade. You know, a lot of people don't realize that, and the 6th grade didn't even start his 6th grade year. But the guy became a winner. He learned how to work hard, and he proved that if you work hard enough, you can be a Division I wrestler. You know, Landon has been Landon since the 5th grade, or since he was 5 years old. He told us he was going to go to Ohio State, and now Brayden following those footsteps. But again, Luke Justice, another one that didn't start wrestling in middle school. These guys have bought into the process, and they just showed that it doesn't matter when you started it. If you work hard enough, you can do anything in the sport of wrestling, and that's what I love about this sport.
Coach, I think I got to keep you up here because we're going to have our young man up here. But before I let you go, Brayden, give us a Zach Little story, maybe something to kind of help introduce this young man before we get him up here.
Yeah, Zach's my boy. He's my training partner. He's a great dude. He makes me laugh. We hang out a lot. I mean, that's just my boy. I'm proud of what he's doing this year. He's going to get that state championship this year, so we're ready for it.
Brayden, appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for joining us here. Brayden Leach, a senior here at Summit High School.
Thank you.
We're going to shift over and bring up our final guest of the night here, Mr. Zachery Little of Summit High School, our latest Gateway Tire Male Athlete of the Week. You know, we talk about family coach a little bit. Here's one of those, man. We just mentioned his older brother Jarvis. We got his younger brother here too. Yep. Hey, the Littles have been around for a while.
Oh, absolutely. I think his dad just rolled in. He drove out to Boone yesterday. They definitely share the love. They make sure he woke up early in the morning, went out and saw Jarvis and Boone, drove back for this. So it's definitely a family affair. So they share the love amongst all the boys. So we're very grateful for the little family and the Leaches.
Zach, welcome, man.
Thank you.
Tell us about the regional here on Saturday. What went right for you?
I would say I just got to my offense every match. I mean, the one thing I want to do is just score points. And I say, oh, shoot, my fault. Say scoring points wins matches, and that's really the main goal here in all my matches. I'm trying to figure out what I like to do, what works best. And I think the region went well, and that's really it.
This season coming in, you know, obviously you had such a successful freshman campaign here. As a sophomore coming in a little bit, tell me a little bit about your approach, some of the things that you wanted to do, and just how you kind of found some improvement too.
Well, after last year, I came up short in the state finals, and I just went back to step one, tried to figure out what I can do better and how can I improve. And that's what I've been working on all summer. And here I'm back at a lower weight than I was last year, looking for the state title. And I think I've really improved in the stuff that blocked me from getting to that goal last year. But I think now I'm ready to get there and win it.
Coach, when you think about this young man, having that success as such a youngster and then coming in where he's a veteran sophomore wrestler out here now too,
right.
Seeing his focus, seeing his energy, how do you describe this guy as a wrestler?
Yeah, so he's a junior now. So he took 6th as a freshman, 120 pounds. He jumped all the way up to 157, makes the state finals. He wasn't satisfied, but what I wanted to see is how do we respond? And he turned around and he hit every single one of the toughest tournaments in the country. Not only did he participate in those tournaments, but he placed in Fargo, the toughest tournament in the country. And he did that as a rising junior. So that was super special. The work that he put in since last February, it assures me that he's going to be successful where he wants to be in 2 weeks on the top of the podium.
Zach, take us into this mat room a little bit, because we just had, Mr. Leach up here and thinking of you two guys going head to head constantly. How do you guys build off of one another and push one another and help each other get a little better?
I would say we just find our flaws, what doesn't work, what kind of stopped us. Because I think we're both pretty successful, especially in Tennessee, of what we do good and what we do bad. But just trying to fine-tuning the fundamentals of what we have to do, and just dialing in, making sure everything is like crisp and stuff.
I get caught up watching these two sometimes.
Yeah,
They're so good at making little adjustments. I like to listen to their conversations. I'm like, well, hey, if you guys are making these problems, we're going to fix it. Hey, everybody, look in real quick. Watch these two. And then for them to take it and show by example and doing that type of stuff, the little adjustments they're able to make together is super, super awesome because they drill at such a high pace, but they're able to break down the littlest things. And I think that's how they've had so much growth together, is pushing them through those situations, but also helping me even learn through. When they start talking about it, I become obsessed. I'm still a student of the sport, and I love hearing how they can work through these types of conversations with one another by drilling.
Now, Zach, Brayden's essentially like a brother here too for you, but having that true family connection in wrestling here, in the sport here, you get to wrestle with your younger brother here, you got to wrestle with your older brother. Tell me about what that relationship's like, and how there's got to be a really big competition between everybody there too. But just what's that like?
I'd say it's pretty special, considering how Jarvis kind of guided me, and I get the opportunity to do the same with Noah. But yeah, he just told me you got to work hard to get what you want, and I'm kind of just trying to give it to Noah at this sense, because I mean, freshman is where we make the most mistakes, and I want him to learn from the mistakes that we made as freshmen, so he doesn't make it when he's a freshman. I think he's doing pretty good at that.
Coach, wrestling as a program, as a team, as a sport, it's a big family. Everybody knows everybody.
Yep.
It's a small world in the wrestling community in that sense, where everybody knows everybody.
Right.
But you have some great families that have worked through here, and having this young man here a little bit, how do you describe those relationships within this sport, and just having brothers sharing the mat room like that too?
We have a philosophy. It's called our wrestling family, and we really do see it. You've seen it. People have seen it within our program, and you're going to see it these last 2 weeks of the season. We enjoy the championships together, but also we take in the losses together. It affects everybody. So the parents do a fantastic job of keeping each other up. We're annoying as all get out with our cowbells, but we love it. It's a family. My wife, she was in tears having to miss the state finals. I hadn't seen that, and to tell people that, they don't believe me, but she was in tears that she missed it. She was sad to miss Brayden wrestle and all the seniors. I said, baby, we got 3 more weeks. Trust me, it's okay. We'll be all right. So that kind of helped out. But, again, it's the wrestling families that make me want to continue to come back and be a part of this program. They are the reason why our program is what it is, and I am forever grateful to every family that's been a part of our wrestling family. And as you saw at the state duels, we had tons of families that had come back for the state duels that were with us in the beginning when we weren't very good. And now to be a part of that and see us in the state finals has been something really special for me as part of the program. But our wrestling family is one of the best I've ever been around. I'll put us up against anybody.
Zach, you kind of got to watch from afar and be competing on the side there, and then now being one of the guys in that room. What's that journey kind of been like for you? And then knowing that we got to keep it going for a little while here too.
It's been pretty hard, I'd say, because my freshman year, just being in there, they thought of me as I should be on the same level as them, and I wanted to be there too. And just drilling with them in all the years just kind of brings me up to their level. They're bringing me up with them, and going to these tournaments, seeing how they go through matches, take a loss, how they handle themselves and bounce back kind of helps me. I take it and learn from it and try and develop into like what I do now, and I want to give back, and hopefully they do the same with me.
There's some weight to meet expectations there, right? Because again, this program's been so elevated for so long now. We expect to be at state. We expect to contend for championships. Coach, that's kind of a cool expectation.
I like it that way. I've been at the other end too when we first started building it, so I definitely like where we're at, and I want to stay where we're at. So if that's the expectations of our program, then I'm proud of what these young men and women have accomplished.
Zach, come Saturday, tell us a little bit about your thoughts going into a Section 3 matchup there, and just what are you trying to do there?
I say I was just trying to repeat what I did at Region. Just score points, wrestle. I don't see I have to really change much of what I did at a Region, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I'd say.
When you have that goal for being, the last one standing come at the Williamson County Egg Expo Center in a couple weeks here, how do you get focused knowing that there's still a step to get to that point, knowing that, Saturday still got to get top 4 no matter what to advance? Obviously, you were one of the favorites going in there, but just that mentality is kind of tough to be like, I still got to do this before that.
I'd say just be calm. I mean, when I get ready for my matches, I don't really think of like pressure or I have to win, all that stuff. I'd say just stay calm, and at the end of the day, it's just wrestling at this point. So just as long as you try your hardest and put in effort, I'd say win, lose, or draw, it's you'll be all right.
Chatting with Zach Little here and Coach Pete Miller. Coach, having the opportunity for this guy to have 10 of his teammates competing on the mats with him on Saturday, too. Everybody trying to get that state berth here, trying to finish top 4. How great is that to have such a group together out there competing together?
It's that wrestling family aspect, like we said. These guys beat each other up on the mats, but the work that they put in, everybody understands that everybody's working just as hard. But what I also like to see is you see over here, they like to goof off. They like to hang out. They know how to turn that switch on and off. And I think that's something special. A lot of people, especially in the wrestling world, don't know how to flip that switch. So I'm glad that these guys, young men and women, can be great people off the mat. But on the mat, they're a terror. And so I love that. But, yeah, keeping them in check. I like throwing curveballs at Zachery every day. I'll change it up on him and say, man, you've shot a double leg 100,000 times to the right side. How many times have you done it left-handed? He's like, so keeping them on their toes. I love doing it, throwing little curveballs at them, but they respond, and then they start chatting, talking it up, and the next thing I know, I have to throw away my game plan, and I'm over here to kind of develop everybody else off of what their game plan is. So they've done a fantastic job taking it a step at a time and enjoying the process.
As we wind down here, Zach, I've had Coach Miller up here a bunch. I've had your brother up here a bunch. Thinking of this guy here, how do you describe Coach Miller? I mean, give us a little insight what it's like, because we get to see him out in the tournaments and everything too. But what's it like in that Summit mat room, and what's it like wrestling for this guy?
I'd say it's pretty fun. He keeps wrestling pretty fun and always pushes us in the practice room, but somehow always mixes in fun stuff and just always keeps the energy high. Nothing really bothers him that much. And I'd say his mentality is pretty, I don't even know the words. It's just he's a fun guy to hang around wrestling and all.
As long as you do your job.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Zach, what's looking back on this season here locally within Tennessee? Tell us maybe a moment or two that kind of stands out, a match, a win, something like that. What are some things that stand out? Give us a little taste of what this year's been like for you so far.
I'd say this year has been it's been pretty good. I didn't really get the results at the national tournaments that we went to, and I just kind of learned and kind of put all that anger out in the Tennessee people. But I think a match that really sticks to me was probably at state when I got to wrestle Harlan Huntley and Gary High, those statement matches. And then Coach Miller, I remember before my semifinals match at Harlan Huntley, he was saying, prove to everyone that you're number one. And just stuck to me that I'm number one, and I just want to stay there.
Coach, when we think about locking in, this guy locks in, man. I mean, when you think of what he's been able to do here, I know that ultimate goal's here in a couple weeks, but you give us a moment that kind of stands out to you when you think about his matches this year.
He's the guy. I mean, he's wrestled at the state duels like we talked about. All the top dogs, he was there, and he handled business. Not only did he beat him, he kicked the crap out of them. I mean, Tech falling some of the best guys in the state. Zach Little made that statement 3 weeks ago that 150 pounds is his weight class, take it or leave it. This is where he's going to be, at the end of February. He's done a fantastic job, and if he continues to push himself, I think he's going to get exactly what he's been working for.
Final thoughts here, Coach. Obviously, we got a lot of guys competing on Saturday. Tell us a little bit about your expectations and thoughts for the Spartans.
Yeah, we have 11 going into sectionals, and my objective is to get all 11 again, plus our 4 girls. We're going to look at having 15 qualifying for state, and that's my objective. We've gotten to see a lot of these matchups already. Wrestling Cookeville in the sub-state match was big, but we've seen some of these guys at some of the other tournaments, so we know what our expectations are. So we're going to build off some wins. If we didn't win, if we had a close match, we want to build off of it and open up those floodgates a little bit. And if somebody beat us, we got to regroup, and no group does this better than what we have in front of us. So we're going to look for some upsets this weekend and hopefully send 15 to the state tournament Ag Center in 2 weeks.
Zach, who are you most excited about competing on this sectional stage in terms of teammates here? Who do you think is going to be that breakthrough? Or there could be a couple here, but who are you excited about trying to get to that state stage?
I'd really like to see Jen get there, just of his journey. And I know that he was pretty small last year and he didn't really compete well. But seeing him now at section and have the opportunity to make state is pretty exciting. I'd like to see him achieve that goal.
And final thoughts for you going in. What are we going to see from Zach Little over these next 2 weeks? For you, buddy.
Score a lot of points and get that state title.
Pretty simple, right? I like it. We
That's
keep it
deja
simple.
vu from somebody who sat here and said the same thing.
I was
think.
about to say, I think he took some notes there, right? Yeah.
Right. Keep it simple, apparently. That's what he said.
Guys, so happy to have you both here. Zachery, got you a plaque here, first of several, hopefully, man. Happy to have you on here. Again, congratulations, our most recent Gateway Tire Male Athlete of the Week, Zach Little of Summit High. Coach Miller, thank you so much, man. Always a pleasure to be able to chat local wrestling and everything. I know we got a busy couple weeks. Really looking forward to hanging out Friday and Saturday with you and the rest of WillCo wrestlers out here.
Absolutely. I hope we get to come back and brag about all Williamson County over the next 2 weeks. So I have a strong feeling we're going to be able to do that.
There we go. Hope to have you back. Zach, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Everybody, Zachery Little, our latest Gateway Tire Male Athlete of the Week. Coach Pete Miller as well. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on the WillCo Sports Power Hour. Again, this show brought to you by so many of our great sponsors out there. John Mayer Builders, Southern Trophy, Trucking for a Cure, Tennessee, Matthews Team Sports, Stonegate Homes, Toyota of Cool Springs, Gateway Tire and Service, Tim Thompson, Premier Realtors, and our great hosts here, Tony's Eat and Drink. We're here every Monday night. Again, my name's Charles Pulliam with the Williamson Herald. Be sure to check out all our great Tim Thompson Premier athletes. We got our top performers list that'll drop in the morning. We got this week's Gateway Tire Athletes of the Week that'll be coming up. Lots of high school basketball, lots of wrestling. I know my weekend's pretty filled up. I know my family's been watching here too, so I'll be along on the mats Friday and Saturday watching the girls Friday, the boys on Saturday, section state qualifying here. So really excited about that. But for all our fans out there, Tony's Eat and Drink, come on by. It's the spot. It's got great food. We love eating here. We love hanging here. We'll be back next Monday. Again, my name's Charles. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much.